show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's main event. Dropkick now and powerbomb. Ayo, bro, let's bring this on. Hey, hey, what is up? Oh, captain, my captain, shoulder stuff. Power slam and suplex too. Hot garbage is just for you. Big breaker, cut a cold red. Figure four, hot times ahead. Since 2014, it's on. It's a 10 count, but stand up strong. Hey kid, no DQ, strong style. Chop, this is how it do. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark here with you on a Thursday this time. That's right, I said it. It's a Thursday. If I hold really still, that thing won't happen. It kind of looks like it's like when Thanos did the snap, you know, and you start. What was the word they used for it? You like, why can I not remember the Avengers term for the dusting? That's it. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do, man? Welcome back to the show, kids. It's only been 6 days since we hung out. Have you missed me? Well, I know I've missed you, but you know what else I've missed a whole bunch? Doing the show and seeing people smash that like button. Do that for me if you will. I'd appreciate it. You knew I was going to ask. It's not the same kind of show if I don't ask. If you hear a lot of stuff in the background, it's because my door is open. You want to know why? Because my lighting is atrocious. Again, I tell you, my lighting, look at that. I'm never going to fix it. Because again, if I fix it, I'll have nothing to complain. Oh, that's bright. Yes. Well, you know what? What are you going to do? Do that? Nope. That's the best we can do, kids. How's your week been so far? It is not over yet. You still have tomorrow and Saturday to go. But good news, we're almost to the weekend, so that's good, yeah? Welcome back to the show, kids. We've got lots to talk about today. Thanks for being patient with me in terms of the show schedule, yeah? Because I've got stuff going on tomorrow. And because I've got stuff going on tomorrow, it was so much easier for me to do the show today. So that's why I'm doing it today. Sandy's pointing out my shirt. Sandy, get off my shirt, dude. I need to start selling Tom Clark's merch again. Tom Clark's main event merch. I'll get it. That's what because I've updated the logo now, yeah? That's what I need to do because that logo looked pretty bad on a shirt, dude. That's what I'm going to have to do. Who's down with that? I'm down with it. Let's look, since I had issues last Friday with the comments, I've got myself up on another screen on the Facebook. So I don't want to miss any comments this time. Let's get the ticker ticking. There she is. And let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Mean Gina's here. Good to see you. Guten Tag, Sandy in Germany. Good to see you. Robbie, good to see you, my friend. Oh, I like that. That's fun. Let's see. Jeffrey, what's up, JP? Good to see you, my dude. Sugar Shane is here as well. Gene, aren't you sweet? Look at that. Look how sweet Gene is. Everybody be more like Gene. I think the comments are working today. That's a good thing, yeah. Because last week, I got to tell you, there was crickets in this feed. Crickets. And I thought, man, is it because it's Friday or have I just overstayed my welcome? And people are like, I'm done with this clown now. I'm going to move on to somebody else. Maybe they'll move on to some dude what yells at him and whatnot. I promise you that'll never be me. That's not my style. Anyone knows me knows that is not my style. There's a couple things I'd like to plug if you will indulge me for just a moment. I'm attempting to get my writing back on track. It's been a hot minute, if I'm being honest with you, since I really made an effort to continue my writing career. If you guys know anything about me, you know that I spent a lot of years covering pro wrestling. I spent 7 years with Bleacher Report. I spent, for the better part of 10 years doing nothing but writing. I wrote for multiple different pro wrestling websites. And while I had fun and it was a blast, I think in that 10-year span, I kind of burned myself out. And I've never really been able to get back to anything closely resembling full-time since then. So I am attempting to do that now. There are 2 different platforms I'd like you to go check out for me. I'm going to drop links in the chat. I always push the pods, and I'll do that stuff later. But here's the first one for you. This one is called Substack. If you're not familiar with Substack, nothing on that platform, at least as far as this guy is concerned, is currently behind a paywall. Now, will I change that at some point? Look, if I build up enough of an audience and I get some good interactions going and I see that people really want to read my content, I mean, man's got bills to pay. Maybe one of these days I'll put it behind a paywall. But as of right now today, subscribing on Substack is free. And what will happen is once you subscribe, it will go directly to your email. There's nothing funky with the email, I promise you. No one's stealing your stuff. I'm not trying to get up in your business. I won't see your email address. It's none of my business anyway, but I'll know that you subscribed, and I'd very much appreciate it. Here's another one for you. I am also back on Medium again. So if you will, kids, much appreciated to you. And if you would share that around. And look, I'm open to conversation. If you don't like, if you got opinions on what I write, if you've got some input, you can share them in the comments on those 2 websites. I would greatly appreciate it. And again, content creators, and you should know this. If you don't, I'll tell you, content creators survive quite a bit of the time by word of mouth and by just engagement alone. So if anyone out there is so inclined to, please share those 2 links and please go check them out. And they're both very, very young at the moment. I've got another column coming out on Substack tomorrow. So check that out, if you will. And I should have 2 on Substack and 2 on Medium coming out next week. My cadence, at least as far as I'm concerned today, my hopes and my cadence is 2 per week on each platform. Now, actually doing that will be the test. Yeah. So we'll see if I can do it. I tried to let everyone know I was going live here a day early. I pushed it. I promoted it. I don't know if we're going to get the kind of crowd we would get on a Friday. But if not, it's all good. They can always share it. They can always watch it after the fact. They just won't be able to engage live. And for those of you checking out the audio version of the show, much appreciated. But you are definitely missing out on the video version. We have lots of fun here. So we hope that you will check us out on the video version as well on the Facebook. And as always, boinkstudios.com. As we're saying our hellos here today, Ray Alday is here. Robbie, you're too nice to me. Thank you for that. Marie says, much love. I was at Dynamite last night. It was a great show. That is awesome. I've been reading your comments. I'm glad that everything went well. I enjoyed the show last night. I got thoughts. I'll share them in a little bit. Yeah. Brianne, good to see you, my friend. Glad you are hanging out with us here today. Wolf is back in the house. People starting to come in now, yo. Do me a favor, kids. Smash the crap out of that like button. Smash it till your thumb breaks. Well, we don't want any injuries, so you don't have to necessarily do that. But I'd appreciate it. Sandy says, who's the guy doing your voiceover on your promotion for the show? That is a good friend of mine. His name is Alan Iverson, actually. I'm kidding. That's not really his name. Actually, his name is Adam Ingram. Adam Ingram is his name. And if you can figure that out, boy, good on you. Good on you. We've got a big show here today. We got an hour to do it in. Let's get this thing rolling. Who is going to check out WWE SummerSlam? This is Big Daddy. Yeah, this is the one that a whole lot of people believe that Roman by God Reigns is going to come back during that show. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this is the day that this will be the day that he comes back? Do you think it's going to happen in another event? I'm going to get that out of the way right off the bat because I want to know everyone's thoughts on that deal, man. Do you think that this will be the time, pardon me, that Roman Reigns returns? I'm ready this time for the choking up bit. When you run your mouth as much as I do, you got to wet that whistle. What's everyone think about this? Do you think we're going to see Roman? Think about that, stew on it. We'll come back to it here in just a moment. We've got, as of right now, this is not counting what may happen on SmackDown tomorrow night. We'll see, right? We have 7 matches. Of the 7, 6 of them are championship matches. Boy, that, people say other companies have a lot of belts. Brother, let me tell you. So let's check out this card. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Lots of hubbub over that one. I know that's been a heavily anticipated match for quite some time. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Title. Bayley versus Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship. And Damian Priest versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. That is your card. It's only 7 matches at the moment. So we shall see. Wilf does not believe he will return tomorrow. Saturday. Sandy says, I think he returned 2020 at SummerSlam. Why not again? JP says, yes, he's come back to set up for Survivor Series and the Saudi. Well, maybe it's Survivor Series that he'll come back at. Do we believe that's what's going to happen? It just makes you wonder how long that this Solo Sikoa and this new version of the Bloodline business is going to be allowed to just, run rampant and do whatever it is they want to do, right? Without the guy formerly known as the Big Dog with something to say. Robbie says he's an out-of-the-box jaw dropper. Paul has been getting flack from the new Bloodline. Here's an out-of-the-box jaw dropper. Brock returns and Paul drops a blood. I have no desire to see Brock Lesnar on my TV. That's just me. And, I get it. Allegations are called allegations for a reason. Nothing's been proven in court. But, man, a lot of stuff going back to that business with the dude that used to be on TV all the time. Let me tell you. I got a bad taste in my mouth from a lot of that, as do a lot of people. Jeffrey Peters says CM Punk for the win, Sammy for the win, Cody with the win, with Roman Reigns interfering. Could be. But, he shouldn't need Roman Reigns to keep that belt. If it were to happen that way, that's fine, but he should not need it. You know what I mean? He's their made man. He's their top guy at this point, and that's how he should carry it. That's how he carries himself. That's how he's promoted. That's how he should be able to defend that championship as the top guy. Alma's here. What's going on? Hope you're doing okay there. Thanks very much for tuning in. Maria, good to see you. Maria is a very active somebody when she's here on the show. Maria, we appreciate you very much. I did start promoting this thing yesterday, Maria. I did start promoting yesterday that we were going live today instead of Friday. So I did try to get the word out. It's out there on Facebook. It's on and multiply shared by the other Facebook accounts I manage, and also on the Instagram. And I think I threw it on Twitter as well. But no worries, you made it. Ray All Day says Punk wins, Sammy lose, and Cody wins. Is Logan? Yeah, he's defending against LA Knight. I don't have any love for Logan Paul. I gotta be honest with you. And all this mess about how, he's so athletic and the other guys in the locker room should take a cue. Shut up. Look, everyone can have their own opinion, but you can't tell me that this guy doesn't rehearse his matches and has from day one. And you can't tell me that this guy is such a natural athlete. Look, he didn't do anything to earn any spot that he has in that company. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be salty about it. They can do whatever they want, right? They obviously see something in that guy that maybe a lot of other people don't see, right? But like this notion that he's so much better, I'm not buying a word of that. He's just getting the spot. He's getting the spot. Now, you could argue, has he worked to keep it? Fine. But he didn't get it because he earned it. He didn't get it because he did his time on jerking the curtain for 5 years and then worked his way up from NXT. That didn't happen. Okay. And that's fine if that's how they want to do business. But this notion that he is such a star and he's this, that, and come on, man. Come on. Hell, he knows better than that. He knows better than that. I'm sorry. I don't care how much money the guy's got. He knows the truth. If it wasn't for the guys making him look like $1 million all the time, he wouldn't look like $5. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. But that's the case in all pro wrestling. Anyone's got a problem with that doesn't understand how the business works. Maria says Roman is going to help Cody win when the other bloodline members interfere. Maybe. Maybe. JP says if we learn from Logan Paul, we'd only have wrestling once every other month. Yeah. I'm not sure what that means. What's that mean? Maybe I'm missing it. It's been a long week. And it's only Thursday. Cheers. We'll get it. Sorry. Maria says Nia's going to beat Bailey and then get cash in by Tiffy time. Tiffy time. All right. I mean, look, we've shared our thoughts multiple times over the past several years on this Miss Nia Jax. We don't need to go back through it again here. So, Sugar Shin says Damian retains, Breaker wins, Bailey retains. Alan says dry spell over new ROH 6-man tag team champions Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. It's very cool moment for them. So over in Texas. And that, listen, who watched the ROH pay-per-view last week? Or excuse me, it's on their streamer, on their network. Did you guys like it? Because I thoroughly enjoyed that show. We talked about it here a little bit last week. But man, it's an excellent show. Go out of your way to go check it out, because it's very much worth your time, for sure. That was Death Before Dishonor, yeah. I mean, it was yeah, dude, it was a very, very good show. Look, AEW kills it on their pay-per-views. Ring of Honor kills it on their pay-per-views. It's the regular programming that doesn't always click all the time. We'll get into it here a little bit later. But yeah, it's I got thoughts. Doesn't make me right. Let's see. My thoughts on Nia saying Bailey's having surgery. Yeah, I don't know. Look, you guys know I don't follow WWE 100% all the time. I catch highlights. I catch, the sizzle reels, whatever you want to call it, that kind of thing. I'll occasionally watch something all the way through, but I'm not fully committed to everything coming out of that company. So I can't say for sure if I have a solid opinion on that. I will agree with Sandy. The Miz and R-Truth as hosts, they're going to be great on everything they do if they're together. Now, separately, in my opinion, Truth is the star of that duo, and he always has been. I don't dislike Miz at all. I've done nothing if not defend the guy over the years, right? From attacks from people who get weird about pro wrestling, right? Because a lot of people get weird about a lot of things. There's a lot of weird people out there, right? Especially pro wrestling fans. But I've been one of the guys that's defended Miz through multiple years, because the guy's he works hard. He does work hard. He just, we don't have to get off on that. We don't have to get off on that. So, what match are you looking forward to the most on this show? Is it the championship matches you're looking forward to, like the world title match? I kind of feel like this is going to be a step up and show him something, kid, kind of night for Solo. Honestly, because I believe, in my opinion anyway, I don't believe there's any train of thought out there that could actually convince anyone who follows this product for any length of time that Cody's truly in trouble on Friday or on Saturday night. In my opinion, maybe there's other people disagree with me and they think I've got it wrong, and that's fine, and that's not a problem. But that's I don't know. I don't know how much of a legitimate threat he is to the championship in the slightest. I really don't have the answer to that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. What's happening with you, kid? It's hot. Mm-hmm. Adjust the temp right there. Come here and say hey first. Look here how much this kid's grown up. Get down here, boy. Look at that. Look how much that boy's grown up. Got the facial hair. Look at that. He's hanging out with me. Yeah, turn the thermostat down. Oh, well, that'll do it. Can you read it all right? You see it? 70. You're going to freeze us out of here. So, yeah, he's hanging out with me here at the office today. Yeah, again, I think that this is going to be a stand and deliver kind of moment for Solo, in my opinion, because I just don't I don't personally perceive him to be, and not right now, a fully legitimate threat unless there's a lot of outside interference, and there probably will be. You know how they run. You know how they do. I think he likes Kendrick Ray. I believe so. I believe so. Maria, you're sweet. Thank you. Takes after his father. He doesn't have quite the distinguished beard I have, however. I don't know if I call it distinguished, but hey. JP says CM Punk versus Drew, U.S. Championship match, Universal Championship match. I'm always going to call him the boys, Shane. I have to. He knows that. He knows that. Hey, look, they're still calling Shawn Michaels a heartbreak kid. I'm just saying. If Shawn Michaels be the heartbreak kid, my 15-year-old can still be the boy. For sure. Anyway, I think this it's going to be a fun night. I hope everyone's safe. Hope they have a great show. Hope everybody gets their stuff in, so to speak. Hope everything goes well for everybody. And as I said before, everyone comes out of this safe and sound and healthy for the next Raw and SmackDown. So we shall see big picture what happens from here on out and how Saturday's show affects everything else. Let's move on here, kids, before we get to the bottom of the hour. Can you believe we're already 23 minutes in? What kind of rumors have you heard lately? This Shane McMahon stuff is all over the place. There's been this weird thing that happened where Bully Ray read a statement on Busted Open from supposedly Shane. And I have no reason to doubt this because Bully is their guy. Bully is WWE's guy. He's WWE through and through. And that's it and that's all. He's a lifer. He and Booker T, a couple other guys. That company can do no wrong. I'm just saying. It's fine. I don't care. I have no dog in the hunt. I'm just a fan. I'm just a guy, right? It's fine. But I'm telling you, I know what I see. I know what I hear. Here's the quote. Quote, Tony and I were connected through a mutual friend, and we had a great meeting. We talked about many things, but mostly about our shared love for the business and the rewards and challenges of working with family. I congratulated him on the 5-year anniversary of AEW and look forward to see how he evolves the business moving forward. End quote. Now, my statement and Tony Khan's statement that he had never met Shane up to that point stands. No reason to lie about it. But that photo that's been released this week after the fact that supposedly it took place very, very recently, dude, if you believe that photo is completely happenstance and the release of that photo, come on. Anything's possible, I suppose. It is a social media kind of world we're living in now, and you can't do anything without someone taking a picture of it. But come on. What are we talking about? I'm just saying. JP says, you say AEW Collision moved to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They would compete with SummerSlam. Absolutely, and good move. And what did WWE do? They moved their pre-show back to compete with AEW. Because they're going to have a 3-hour pre-show. It's what they do. This is what they do. AEW moves its program so as not to interfere. WWE moves its program to interfere. That's what they've done for years. It's what they did it to the Crockett's. They did it to AWA. They've done it to everybody. It's just what they do. It's expected. It's expected. You know, if they didn't do it, I'd be shocked, to be honest with you. I'd be shocked. JP says, you see the rumor report that Adam Cole and Brent Baker split up. I know a little bit more about it than that, and that's all I'll say. I know a little bit more about it than that, but I'll leave it at that. But yes, I did see that report. Picture of Shane and Tony was apparently taken by Mercedes Moné. Well, either way, it's not going to get leaked to the press unless Tony said okay. Maria says the leak was totally an inside job. What you guys think about this? How do you really feel about the prospect of Shane McMahon joining AEW in some capacity? Look, I don't know what capacity he would join them in. Would he become an on-screen authority figure? They've already got that. Would he be involved backstage? Would he even need to be on TV? What kind of resources could he bring to the table if he was involved? Legitimate questions, right? I'm just asking questions here. It doesn't mean I'm okay with this or I'm not okay with this. Doesn't mean I hate it or love it. But these are legitimate questions. What do you think he actually brings to the table? All things considered, what do you think he could do for this company? I'd love to know. Ray says, love to see Shane go to AEW. I mean, again, it's if you're really being honest with yourself, what position are we talking about? We're not talking about part owner. Are we talking about, they've already got EVPs. Are we talking about head of talent relations? What is it that we're talking about? Because that would be what I would need to be answered straight away. And I suppose that any job title could be invented for this guy if they want him bad enough and he wants to be there bad enough. But I would wonder I'm wondering out loud, what's the sort of future do we honestly believe is coming? You know what I mean? That we honestly believe is coming if he were to sign with AEW. Ray says he had some good ideas. It could be a booker, maybe. JP says maybe Shane left WWE because his father was kicked out of WWE. No, he was gone before then. To my knowledge, he was gone before then. There's some bad blood there that I don't have any physical evidence to prove my statement, just so you know. But I've always been under the assumption and been under the understanding there's some kind of bad blood there. And look, there is a reason. You don't have to get back into this too much here. But there is a reason why when Vince came back, everybody disappeared. Okay? There's a reason why people didn't want to work with that guy and for that guy again. Accessory after the fact. I'm sorry. It's how I feel. There was a lot of stuff that happened during his time there. And again, I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury, none of that stuff. All right. And I can't speak on family matters because quite frankly, it's none of my business. But I've always heard things said that there's bad blood there. Now, if that is me spreading misinformation, disinformation, I apologize. That's not my intention. This is all speculation. So take it as speculation. This is not Tom reporting on anything like that. Daniel Price, watching from the YouTube, says, we won't be like WWE. We'll have our own identity. We're something fresh. Also, AEW, hey, let's bring in McMahon and make AEW more like the dying days of WCW. You don't know any of that. It's okay if you have that opinion. You're entitled to it, but you don't know any of that. That's you talking out loud that's what you think is going on. I disagree, but you can think that if you want to. I mean, this notion that some people have that you can't work for another company and that if you do, you're an ex-WWE guy. I just don't buy that. You guys know I've never bought that. No one is calling Jade Cargill an ex-AEW guy. No one's doing that. She's just Jade Cargill. That's it. Why can't Bryan Danielson just be Bryan Danielson? Do you know what I mean? People, not you, Daniel. Some people feel the need, this overwhelming need to label. I'll never understand it, man. I don't get it. I'll never understand it. Sugar Shane says, who would you rather take advice from if you were Tony Khan, Shane McMahon, or Scott D'Amore? I mean, Scott D'Amore's got a great reputation with a lot of wrestlers. And there's a lot of guys in AEW right now in their locker room that have a lot of respect for Scott D'Amore and love the guy. So that may not be a fair question, all things considered. I mean, who would demand the bigger payday? I suspect it would be Shane, but I could be wrong, right? That's a loaded question, Shane. I appreciate your viewpoint, but that's a loaded question because I think Scott D'Amore could bring something to that company. Doesn't mean they'll sign him. Rhea says, keep Shane from producing pay-per-views. Remember the mess, the Royal Rumble that he produced. Fair enough. Fair enough statement. For sure. All right, kids, we are at the halfway point of the program. And before we go into the next segment, do me a favor and watch this.
Boink Studios is the home of Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Visit the site today for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Check out the site and bookmark today. BoinkStudios.com.
There you go, kids. Please go check us out, boinkstudios.com. Much appreciated. And again, folks, if you have not done so here today, please smash the like button. And the next time you see me, I'm going to attempt two things. One, to get better looking. That's impossible because look at me. Just look. But number two, to somehow work on this lighting. I'm going to have to bring like floodlights in here or something. I'm going to have to do something. So there you go. But again, thanks much, kids. All right, let's bring up the next topic. Let's get into a little bit of AEW in the last half of the show here. Bryan Danielson on the Dynamite last night with the face-to-face thing with the World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland. Talking about, look, if I can't beat you at All In, I'm done. I'm retired. And retired means retired. Supposedly, and again, this is what Danielson has said. This is what a lot of people have said. His contract ended today. His full-time contract came to an end today. So now we are assuming from this point on that Bryan Danielson is working on a handshake deal. And if that's the case, if he does not beat Swerve at All In, he is completely done when he has made it abundantly clear that he has every intention of wrestling on a part-time basis. He wants to keep wrestling till he's dead and all that other stuff. That's what he said for a long time now. Tony has come out and publicly said he fully expects Danielson to remain with the company for a good long time. So, anyone hoping he'll show up Saturday at SummerSlam, I guess you can, wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which one gets filled up first if you want to. If that makes you happy. So, Ray says Swerve 100% winning. Love Daniel, but it's Swerve's house. I disagree, Jeffrey. I do not believe Danielson wants to retire. He has said he does not want to retire. He has said he doesn't want to ever stop wrestling. He wants to stop wrestling full time. I believe this has flat out set the table for Danielson to become World Heavyweight Champion. And I think that Swerve will lose the belt thanks to Hangman Adam Page. So Swerve will come out of it looking just fine. He'll get distracted by Hangman or something. Danielson will hit the Busako knee, and then boom, he's done. New world champion. That's what I believe. Maria says this ass stipulation ensures Swerve is losing the championship. I agree. I agree. Now, does this mean that if he wins the belt, that the next time we see him work is like in January? I mean, is it October? What does it mean exactly? Do you know what I mean? Does the guy cut promos on TV? What's going to happen? Is he still with the BCC? None of these questions have been answered yet. And I would advise everyone, as much as we want to speculate, as much as we want to take wild, random, crazy freaking guesses, as we always do as fans, because a lot of times we don't have a choice. All we can really do is just wait and see how it plays out. I don't like that answer any more than any of the rest of you do, but I'm just trying to be deadly freaking honest. Deadly honest. Jeffrey, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, my friend. You're right. Wrestlers say one thing, but does something completely different for sure. But that's a lot of saying something to completely change it on a dime at the drop of a hat out of the blue. So you may very well be right, and he doesn't win. We'll see. We'll see. Montrese is joining us here. Montrese, you look great. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Ray says, love Swerve, hate to see him lose. I completely agree. I completely agree. I don't want Swerve to lose the belt, personally. JP says, why do you want to put the belt on a part-time? I don't want to put the belt on anybody. And by the way, when have they put a belt on a part-timer in that company? The other company, all the time. Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think it's, I question the move as well. I don't get it either. Shane says if Danielson wins, I believe the BCC splits up. Moxley versus Danielson for the belt. Could be. That'd be a heck of a match. Daniel says for what? Just to pop Wembley so they'll start doing yes chants? They're going to be doing that anyway. Putting Tyler Danielson is too much of a risk with his injury history. Maybe. I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I mean, I have a hard time speaking in absolutes. I'm not talking in absolutes here. I can see this thing going either way. I could also tell you that I think either way may not be the perfect answer. This idea that if Danielson does it, that's all that needs to happen, Tom. Danielson just shouldn't win. All right, fine. But what happens with Swerve after that? Do we go back to Hangman? That's fine if we do. What's the next big thing for your world champion? Have we got that figured out? If we do, wonderful. Do you see what I mean? You can play it 6 ways from Sunday, man. I'm not disagreeing with either one of you guys. I completely agree that putting the belt on Danielson after he said he's not signing another pro wrestling contract is weird, and I don't understand it. But I know that Khan really likes that guy, and Danielson really likes being there. Does this mean we will never see that dude back in WWE again? No chance. Because I have been the one to say multiple times on the air and behind the scenes that I believe he'll finish his career ultimately with WWE. I believe that. I've been told that's not true. I've been told he's not leaving AEW. That's fine. We can all tell each other everything that we want to. We'll see. I've been wrong before. Robbie says usually the only way a wrestler is fully retired is with 4 words, boots in the ring. Disagree. Undertaker. Didn't work. Didn't happen. Usually I'd agree with you. Not now. And someone else did it too. Billy Gunn did it, didn't he? Yeah. That's added. That's effect. That's effect for the sake of TV, right? It's become a thing now. It's become a gimmick just like any other thing's a gimmick, man. Danny says, never say never. Hall of Fame. 100% agree. 150% agree. Yeah. Maria says, Will Ospreay versus Bryan will be an amazing world championship program together. I love that. Actually. Montrese, I hope I didn't glaze over your point there. I'm not predicting he will, but I do believe that he will ultimately end his career with that other company. But I could be wrong. It may be I'll be dead wrong. We'll see. Yeah. It's fun to talk about, right? Because we don't really know. So there's one thing I want to get into here before we open the floor up. We are 40 minutes in. Thanks again, kids, for watching. I very much appreciate you. Tom Clark here, episode 342 of this here little podcast. BoinkStudios.com, BOINK, BoinkStudios.com. Please visit and bookmark the site. We update all the time, basically every day. So I very much appreciate your time and your attention and for hanging out with us, subscribing and downloading the whole 9. Thanks much. I'm not charging you a penny for anything, kids. So I appreciate you very much. Thanks for smashing the like button, and please do so if you have not done so yet. Again, much appreciated. I have complained on this here little program in the past, and this is not just directed at AEW. This is directed at WWE. This is directed at, in some regards, New Japan, 2 other countries here in the States. This weird thing that has become popular of he's a cool heel. He's a babyface, but he's edgy. If you want to confuse your audience to the point that they literally don't know which end is up, do it. Go ahead. Can't stop you. Now understand, I'm not on AEW's payroll. I'm not on the payroll of any pro wrestling company, period. So it's easy to look at a guy like me and say, he's one guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, Tom, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I get it. Maybe I'd be in the same shoes that you're in right now. Maybe I'd feel the same way you do about me right now. It's possible. But from my perspective and my opinion, the moment that company started saying, and Cody was on the record when he was with that company, he didn't think the babyface and heel thing mattered anymore. Dusty Rhodes' son said this with a straight face. Once those things become said, and they are said, it's kind of a problem to me. Short term is one thing, but we're talking long term sustainability. Swerve Strickland is a great example of this. Tony Storm is a great example of this, where that company refused to turn that wrestler because that's not what they wanted. Yet the audience is telling you, we want this wrestler to be this. We're not going to do it. Isn't that what we all get upset at the other company for? Again, it doesn't mean I'm right. It's just one guy's opinion. You can take it or you can leave it. In my opinion, it is screwing up the dynamic of that company from the ground up. What I love about MJF, even when he did that baby face run with Adam Cole, did he cheat? Yeah, he cheated sometimes. Yeah. But more often than not, MJF, I mean, I don't know the math on legitimate clean wins he had when he and Adam Cole were BFFs, right? But I would suspect the ratio is pretty solid that he was winning clean for the most part. And the fact that he said, I'm your scumbag and all that stuff. Look, I get it. But like, I respect the fact that when he's heel, he is effing heel. He is effing heel. When he's face, he's a lovable baby face that sometimes might cheat a little bit. But guess who else did that? Eddie Guerrero. Eddie was praised for that. Did it work? Did it get over? You better believe it. Did you have to question if Eddie was heel or face? No, not at all. You knew he was face. When Eddie turned heel, you knew he was heel. Same with MJF. The other stuff, the other guys in that company and gals, sometimes stuff happens. I legitimately have no idea what is going on. I don't know from one day to the next who's heel and who's face. This is one guy. I don't represent the difference between AEW going from 500,000 fans and viewers on a Dynamite to 2 million. I'll never be the guy that decides that. I assure you that much. So they do not have to listen to me. Neither do you. I'm just telling you what I see from a great distance. Continuity. I'm the biggest comic book nerd that you know. I promise you that. I'm a sucker for continuity. The minute you screw with the continuity, the minute that characters act out of character, is the minute that things get wonky and wackadoodle from the top down. It's okay if you disagree. It's how I feel. And I believe we are seeing that playing out in the past year or so in that company. 5 years of, nah, it doesn't matter. Ha, it's fine. Fans are smart. They can figure it out. Ha, it doesn't matter. 5 straight years of that, kids. Think about that. When they were new and fresh and exciting, they got away with it. Personally, in my opinion, I do not believe they're getting away with it now. I just don't. You can argue other things. You can argue match types. You can argue production. By the way, sometimes their production continues to be incredibly crappy and just embarrassing. I mean, some of that Ring of Honor show was awesome. Production, terrible. Terrible. How do you not have that right yet? How are you missing camera shots? That ROH show, you know how many times we had the wide sweeping angle with the camera when we should have had close-ups of the action? What are we doing here? And it happened multiple times. Whoever the guys are in the truck, God bless them. But like stuff like that, glitches, lights going out for no good reason. Now that may play out later. I don't know. But you guys saw that last night, right? You can blame all that stuff. You can say, Tom, there's too much blood. Tom, there's unprotected chair shots. We had that stuff for years and ratings were through the roof. Don't bring that to me. I don't want to hear that. If the story's good and the characters are on point, that stuff in the end won't really matter. Will it? You know what does matter? I don't know who to pull for. Wait a minute. Why is she facing her? Are we supposed to hate her this week? What? That's what's going on in that company. You can disagree. And trust me, I got friends who think I'm nuts. Well, maybe not think I'm nuts, but they completely and wholeheartedly disagree with me and think I'm way, way off track. That's fine. That's fine. If you think I'm off track, sure. Okay. No worries at all. But I believe, and I'll always believe, despite what anybody says, maybe this is my stubbornness coming out, despite what anybody says, fans want to cheer and they want to boo. And when you screw with that, you are screwing with the dynamic of this business. I haven't looked at any comments. I just want to get all that out. Ray says, we had this talk before. It's weird. Tweener wars are crazy. I need somebody to boo and one to cheer. I agree. JP says, if you want to lose your audience, confuse your audience about heel and face, because without good and bad, wrestling does not work. I wish I could agree more, but I can't. It's impossible. It's physically impossible, because I'm completely with you. Austin and The Rock got mega over as heels and were turned face, and it totally worked. Sure, people can turn. Oh, for sure it can happen. Happens all the time. Getting over and getting cheered despite your heel status, getting booed despite your babyface status. Sure, all the time. But when you continue, look, the John Cena effect in WWE, we don't have to get into it. We're near the end of the show here. That's a big deal. And I wrote about it for a lot of years, and a lot of people upset about it for a lot of years, about how that company refused to turn him heel, right? Remember all that? Now imagine a locker room with 10 of those guys. 5 of them are face that should be heel. 5 of them are heels that should be face. Imagine the John Cena problem multiplied by 10. Now you got a problem. One guy didn't wreck that business. Sorry. Because around him, you had, that guy's a heel, that guy's a heel, that guy's a heel. It wasn't, I think he's a heel. I'm not sure. This guy, think he's face? Yeah. Didn't have it. Didn't have it. Ray pointing out the Serena Deeb thing with the heel and face. 100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Maria says booing and cheering is important for all sports. Yeah, but this isn't a sport, right? This is predetermined. This is theater. Pro wrestling is sports theater. That's what this is. This is action theater. This is, storylines based on this guy is a terrible person. This girl is a wonderful girl. I'll get it. And that's what it is. It's not like going to see the Clippers and Lakers. The storylines are, one team is the pride and joy of LA. The other team has never lived up to expectations. The underdog stories in sports, all that stuff is very, very real. And people do boo the teams they hate. I completely agree with you, but it's not quite the same thing, in my opinion. The professional sports do not live and die based on, who's great and who's awful. Like Detroit Bad Boys were nasty bunch of players. They played hard. I don't know about cheated, but they just, with Robin with them, man, they were hardcore. They were popular, right? But that's not typically how things go. Could they win games? Yeah, they won titles. That's a big deal. See what I'm saying? But it's pro wrestling is wholly dependent on heel versus babyface. People can disagree with me all day long. That's fine. They can run whatever company they want, write storylines for whatever company they want, produce whatever matches that they want. That's fine. And look, not everything has to live and die on the same heel that I make it out to. I get that as well. However, If anyone tells me with a straight face that this hasn't affected that company to some degree, I will call shenanigans on that one. I didn't mean to curse. I didn't mean to go south with the language. But that's a lot of bull hockey. All right. And anybody tells me that with a straight face, well, you know what they can do? They can go get bent. People still say that? I bet they don't. JP says, the point is, if you're a heel, act like a heel. And if you're a face, act like a face. No fence riding. Jericho's told a story before about being in an elevator when he was heel with WWE and having to be rude to the guy and his kid in the elevator who were trying to be nice to him. But during that time of WWE, it was stressed to the performers, you are heel or you are face, and that's what you are all the time. Ask Gabe Kidd in New Japan. He'll tell you. Gabe Kidd gets it, right? MJF gets it. Certain guys get this. They know. Yeah. Don't you wish I'd used this earlier? This idea of, the heel and face dynamic getting screwed up. Sandy, this is for you.
Hot garbage.
Why didn't I do it before? Maria says RKO goes back and forth too much as heel or face. Am I Randy Orton? What are we talking about? All right, kids, we have 7 minutes till the top of the hour, and yours truly is going to go do a Deadpool Wolverine podcast. And boy, let me tell you, I saw that flick yesterday, and boy, howdy, was it entertaining. Fantastic. The floor is wide open, kids. We patiently await Ray Allday's question involving dinner and, Beyond Burgers and, there it is. Lost Boys or Digital Underground? I'll go Digital Underground. Tupac or Busta Rhymes? I'll go Tupac. If Adam Cole invited you to the grand opening of the Adam Cole store where he gave you a free pet or free food for your pet and offered the same to a friend, could I have? Yes. Later wanted to get dinner, which included brisket with a tasty salad and a pumpkin pie. Could I please join as well? Of course. I haven't had brisket in a while, man. Brisket, when done correctly, is wonderful. JP making the point. When Randy Orton is a face, he is a face. And when he is a heel, he is completely evil. Yeah, look, I like my heels the old-fashioned way. I like my heels to be evil, mean, and nasty. You know the Ole Anderson t-shirt? Evil, mean, and nasty. I'm just saying, no redeeming qualities in a heel. There should never be any redeeming qualities in a heel. Period. Thanos had no redeeming qualities. Do you know the amount of people over the past several years who go, you know what? Thanos is probably right. Thanos was right. It hurts my head. Did you see me glitch? It hurts my soul to think that people are so dumb that they still don't understand Thanos was the heel. Thanos had no redeeming qualities. Thanos was pure evil. Now, this stuff about Tom, the villain, never knows he's a villain. Fine, I'll bite. Thanos didn't, say it with me. Thanos didn't know he was a villain. In his story, he's the hero. Wonderful. He was not right. When he did that, half of existence was snapped away. That's a heel move. That's not a misunderstood baby face. People are dumb sometimes. Maria says, speaking of Deadpool, Wolverine, what are your thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. as Doom? Love it. Love it. I'm here for it. In fact, at the beginning of this here little podcast, I dropped 2 links. And Maria, if you would like to know my true thoughts and feelings, right there it is. See that link? Click it. You will pay nothing for that. It's a free read. It's on my Substack. There's no charge for this. I published it this week. It's my pure, unadulterated thoughts on this. There you go. There you go. It's all there. Again, free to read. Subscribe today. That means loads to me. You guys are the best. You guys give me love in other places besides the Facebook. I'm your friend for life. I promise you that. Sandy says, Don, the ultimate heel. He can't even speak on the mic. Well, yeah. Speaking on the heel is not something, unless you're Roddy Piper, that you were born knowing how to do, right? It's an acquired, it's reps. It's like anything else. The more reps you have, the better you get, supposedly. But some guys just don't have it. Ricardo says he's a great movie, going to see it again. I'd love to go see it again. I may do it. Rob says, if Bobby Heenan were alive during this era of wrestling, which wrestlers from any company would make up this era of the Heenan family faction? That's a tough one. That's a great question. I kind of feel like Brian Cage would be a Heenan guy, because Heenan did the big muscular dudes. I kind of feel like he would be. That's a great question, man. Man, that's an excellent question. I'll say Cage as his tag team. That might be tough. I don't know. That'd be tough, man. I ain't kidding you. That might be tough. That's an excellent question. Well done. Hit me with that again next week. Let's see what else we can come up with. Maria says, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was a face for his entire career, never flirted with being a heel, and was the best. It works for some guys. It does work for some guys. Other guys need to change it up occasionally. Shane says, I have a different perspective on the heel or face. Bill Dundee was both, and you could never tell when he was going to turn, and it worked out for him. I guess there's rare cases for everything, Shane, but I still submit you can't build a promotion on 10 or 12 guys and female talent to do the exact same thing. Maria, much of the talk has been about the Motor City Machine Guns sign with AEW. Supposedly they're finishing up their indie dates. AEW talent does not finish up indie dates because they can still go back and work indie shows. WWE talent cannot. My opinion. Oh, Sandy says, I mean, he can't speak because the crowd is booming out. Oh, there you go. That's wonderful. That's what you want. What about Omos, Jeff? Come on, man. Omos. Jody, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Talk about some history. Me and Jody got some history there, dude. Let me tell you. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. If Punk gets injured again this weekend, should he retire? I don't think so. I think he should retire whenever he wants to retire. And here's something else I'll tell you about Punk. You know, I have no hate for Punk. I was always a fan of the guy. All that wackadoodle stuff in AEW happened. There's two sides to every story. I get it. He handled things incredibly wrong, incredibly poorly. AEW handled things incredibly poorly during and after he was gone, for sure. I don't wish harm on anybody. I will tell you that Punk is playing his greatest hits, in my opinion. And look, it's working for him. Fans love him. Fans love him. We'll see what happens this weekend. Shane says, Bill Nadie is now on TikTok. Yes, amazing. Is he still with us? I didn't know he was even still with us, man. I'm sure he's got some stories, no doubt. All right, kids, there is your main event, episode number 342 for this week. It's in the books. We're going to take it home. I appreciate you very much for hanging out. Remember to check us out. Boink Studios, B-O-I-N-K, boinkstudios.com. Visit and bookmark the site. Check me out on Substack and on Medium as well. Be sure to follow the show here on all the social media channels. Check out Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast, returning very soon with season 3. Be on the lookout for that. And also check out Tom Clark's 6M podcast. We just celebrated episode 200 of that show this week. We did the Shaun of the Dead movie watch along. So if you are a fan of that flick, please go check out episode 200. It's myself, Jay Lept, and Joe Higgins. We had a great time doing that movie and doing that show. And again, thanks for checking us out. That was my second 200th episode. So here's the 200 more. Thanks again, everybody, for checking us out, for hanging out here with us today. I'm going to go talk about Wolverine and Deadpool now, all right? You guys have a great time. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy SummerSlam this Saturday, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks again for watching. Take care, kids. See you soon.